Because the real issue in this case is that everyone was pointing fingers at Rabiya when she didn't get the crown at the end of it, but no one was having a conversation about the fact that her own organization was not supporting her 100% when that's what they should have been doing from the beginning. That was their job, that was their role, and they did not fulfill that. Hello everyone, welcome once again to my channel. It's your boy Luis Portelles, and for today's video we have a very special reaction because I will be covering a brand new interview that was released just a few hours ago, and I'm talking about the one by BoyAbunda interviewing Rabiya Mateo. I've been waiting for this interview for quite some time because of many reasons. The first of them being the fact that this is the first exclusive interview that Rabiya has given after Miss Universe 2020, and the second reason is because I knew that BoyAbunda had a lot to say about Rabiya while she was competing in Miss Universe 2020. So for me, this was kind of a first step for Rabiya to come back into the spotlight and start talking about her experience, but at the same time I was very curious to see what BoyAbunda had to bring to the table. I have to tell you that I already watched this interview while it premiered live on BoyAbunda's YouTube channel. However, I'm going to watch it again now because sometimes when you watch things for a second time, you understand things a little better, and also because I would like to give you some of my insight about everything that is said during the conversation. I know that just like me, a lot of you have been waiting for this interview to come out because we have all been wondering, how is Rabiya feeling? How is she doing? What's going on in her life right now? Where is she? What is she gonna do after? So many unanswered questions. Well, finally the moment is here. Hoping that the second interview will be with me, huh, Rabiya? Sana all. No, but seriously guys, if you enjoyed my reaction, please leave a like on this video so that it gets recommended to more people. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one almost every single day. And last but not least, let me know in the comment section, what did you like the most about this interview? Do you think the questions were fair? And how did you feel about Rabiya's answers? Alright my friends, so without further ado, let's get into today's video. I really hope that you enjoy.
Be strong.
Hello everybody! Especially sa mga kababayan natin dyan sa Philippines. I'm back to reality. This is my first time to have an interview with the one and only BoyAbunda. Thank you, Tito, for having me here.
Maraming salamat.
So humble.
For doing this interview. And intentionally, I didn't say Miss Universe Philippines because today, coming from my heart, ngayon nga kahit walang apelido na Rabiya lang. People know you're like the Oprah or the, you know.
That's true, huh?
I mean, there are people who are known by the first by the first names, diba, Rabiya?
Alright, quick pause you guys. There's gonna be a lot of nose bleeding in this video because some of the Tagalog I don't understand, but I'm going with the context and the subtitles, and I'm gonna try my best to get the most substance out of the interview.
And I am grateful. Maraming salamat for doing this full interview 2 weeks after the Miss Universe pageant in Florida. Tama? Yeah. And Rabiya, this is the first time we're meeting. This is the first time I'm doing an interview with you.
True.
Kung meron si Tito Boy, if I have some questions that you're not comfortable with, I will totally understand. Let's just say, Tito Boy, at saka na lang natin pag-usapan, or Tito Boy, I'm not ready to answer that question. Really. I mean, you know, I because I want you to be comfortable.
Okay. I want to say that I really love the fact that BoyAbunda said that, because even myself, I told myself, if at some point I ever have the opportunity to interview Rabiya, the first thing I want to tell her is that this is a safe space. There are no trap questions. I want you to feel appreciated and loved, first of all. And if at some point a question makes you uncomfortable, please disregard it. So I love Tito for that. For me, it shows a lot of professionalism.
How are you today?
Sobrang saya, Tito Boy. Ngayon, 2 weeks after the competition, I can say that I am more relaxed. Wala na yung burden, wala na yung pressure on my back. And I'm just having the best time of my life.
Ang tagal kasi, di ba? Ang tagal ang paghahanda. After Miss Universe Philippines, they had to prepare, and suddenly, you know, right after the contest, parang freedom.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start here. After 2 weeks after the pageant, share with us, please, your most important life lesson in your Miss Universe journey.
Maybe to enjoy the moment. Sometimes I do think about what's gonna happen tomorrow. How will I able to perform without, you know, enjoying the present, enjoying today. So that is my greatest takeaway, Tito.
So we're talking about the now. Rabiya, Who are you now and how much has changed?
I love myself even better now, Tito Boy. What I've been through is never easy. I know it's gonna be hard, but not as hard as what happened in the competition. It's a test of character and test of faith, Tito Boy. From the
Okay.
moment I won Miss Universe Philippines up until, the Miss Universe competition, binugbog ako. Emotionally, mentally.
Ah.
But I try to be strong. I try to hold myself together.
That's something that I wanted to add myself. I really tried to the best of my ability to cover Rabiya's journey during Miss Universe, but this was mostly during the beginning of the international pageant. I was not around the pageant world yet when she won the title of Miss Universe Philippines, so I was not familiar with everything that happened after her coronation in the Philippines. I was actually talking to a friend of mine the other day, and this person was giving me some context into all of the things that Rabiya had to endure after her coronation, and honestly, I couldn't help but to feel sorry for her. I could only imagine the amount of, frustration, of sadness, of deception that she could have felt at that point because of the way that her own organization was behaving towards her. It's just unacceptable. And what's even more shocking to me is the fact that she never turned against these people. She never said anything to defend herself. She just kind of accepted it and kept going. I know that now Tito is gonna get into a section where he's gonna address this issue, but I wanted to plug that in. I wanted to say that it shows a lot of strength of character. It shows a lot of resilience, of being persistent, of hardworking, no matter the circumstances around you. Because the real issue in this case is that everyone was pointing fingers at Rabiya when she didn't get the crown at the end of it, but no one was having a conversation about the fact that her own organization was not supporting her 100% when that's what they should have been doing from the beginning. That was their job, that was their role, and they did not fulfill that to the best of their ability.
And you deserve that. You have the power to tell yourself that.
I'm still blessed, despite the fact that I wasn't able to penetrate the top 10. I'm blessed with a lot of people that I met in this race. And sabi ko nga, kahit hindi ko na iuwi yung corona, Tito Boy, after the competition, I feel loved by the Filipinos. It wasn't
And the world.
a perfect performance.
I love you from
Pero
Canada.
nakita pa rin nila, na-appreciate pa din nila yung efforts na nagawa ko.
Right after the contest, right after Miss Universe Philippines, hanggang until the pageant, binugbog ka. Sino ang bumugbog sa'yo?
Yung taong bayan din. Because it's not dahil ako si Rabiya, but it's because I'm Miss Universe Philippines.
Okay.
And hindi lang dahil ako lang to, lahat ng mga candidates natin, they've been in this kind of position. So siguro, Tito Boy, from someone who is so naive in this industry, imagine that was my first time to join a national competition. Kahit sinasabi nila na you need to be prepared for this, for that, once na nandun ka sa point na yon, magugulat ka pa rin. So,
You're never ready for those moments. Okay,
yes,
I get that.
ang dami kasing, like even the moment I won, I didn't have that sweet victory. The day I was crowned, that joy was taken away from me. I don't want to be emotional right now, Tito Boy, but iniisip ko lang
Don't get emotional,
parang ang
girl.
dami ko
Strong.
talagang pinagdaanan.
Don't let them see you
Rabiya,
cry.
I want to go back to that because you talked about it. That very moment when you won Miss Universe Philippines, that joy was stolen away from me.
Yes.
Why did you deliberately keep quiet?
Kasi that was the right thing to do. I have my organization with me and they can defend me to the public, And that was the best thing to deal with that issue for me.
But was there a moment in your life when you wanted to come out and say, this is my side of the story? Because I know, alam natin kung anong pinag-uusapan natin. Umpisa pa lamang ng Miss Universe Philippines, nasa gitna ka na ng kontrobersiya, nasa gitna ka na ng ingay. But sabi ko nga, Rabiya Mateo decided to just, hold her cards very, very close to her chest.
Tito Boy, I'm not even sure kasi how to express myself.
Okay.
How to react. And with all the negative thoughts, I'm not even sure na pag nagpa-interview ako and if I share my side of the story, magsa-stop na siya lahat. it might get worse. I don't want to do that. I don't want to add fuel to the fire.
You know, just looking back at this story, the way that she's explaining it, and the points that BoyAbunda is making during the interview, I kind of realized that Rabia's journey when it comes to Miss Universe was pretty much she got crowned in the Philippines, and then after that everything went kind of like downhill. She was dragged through the mud back and forth, and then when they sent her out to Miss Universe International, she became this kind of like hero, and everyone had like big and high expectations of her, how she will perform, what she do, what she should look like, so many things. And at the end of the day, what I want you to remember is that she is such a young girl, so inexperienced when it comes to this industry, but people don't look at her that way. We think of Rabiya and we think of like this kind of like superwoman figure, and we think that she's capable of anything and everything, when in reality she's a young woman trying to do her best, but that has such an immense amount of pressure on her shoulders that most of us, including myself, we wouldn't be able to support that. If I was on her position for a day, I will crack under that pressure. I would be like fighting the haters and slamming the door and like whatever. But I feel like she kept it together for so long that eventually when things turned the way they turned later on, it was kind of like predictable. If you looked at it like from everything that she was enduring for so long, it was kind of clear that that was where it was going. But well, I'll comment on that later on when the moment comes, but for now, let's keep watching.
Okay.
Try to be as quiet as I can. I try to continue the journey, even though inside I was falling apart.
I didn't feel like I won. That must have been difficult.
It is.
Diba? That must have been difficult. Oh, and you decided not to fight back publicly. Humugot ka ng lakas sa mga Ilonggo. But what a journey it has been. What a journey it has been. And looking back, in retrospect, would you have changed anything at that point in your life? Kung babalikan mo, would you have changed the way you did things?
Siguro, Tito Boy, hindi din. Because it needs to happen, because I need to be stronger for Miss talaga. And iyon din yung isa sa mga rason kung bakit ako nakilala ng tao. Like, that's why they want to know my story, because of issues like that.
That's right.
Ang daming tinapon talaga, Tito Boy, na hindi ko man lang mapagtanggol yung sarili ko. Even yung family ko, parang affected sila. My friends are fighting for me, you know, clearing my name, kasi kilala naman nila kung sino ako. And I was just there. I was just, you know, I was silent. There was this, like, an issue, a comment, saying that I was a mistress. Parang yun yung pinakamasakit doon, Tito Boy, because
the
I
things
was
that people
raised by
come up
single
with,
mother,
it's like
and lahat ng pinagdaanan ko,
people have too much time.
pinaghirapan ko yun.
Some of you
And
want to
I
get a
have
job
my
and like
moral
go do
value.
something.
So, people can, you know, throw comments at you. And as a public figure, hindi mo naman madedefend yung sarili mo. So, parang yun yung pinakamasakit doon.
Okay.
Pinag-usapan nga namin ni mama ko. I would tell her, you know naman what's the real sport. And I will never do such thing. Kahit naghirap tayo sa buhay, never natin yung ginawa.
Are you enjoying the fame?
Tito Boy, it has pros and cons eh. I want to be free. I want to be able to express myself without being compared to the former teams. Parang,
Okay.
yun lang naman yung gusto kong mangyari. Kasi ako si Rabiya. I'm not anybody else.
Yeah, I think that was a very, very valid point. The fact that when you gain such a big following suddenly, and when you gain like so much visibility in such a short amount of time, there are a lot of pros and cons that come with that. Of course, people are reaching for you because they admire you and you're inspiring and you're like, you become like a role model. But at the same time, everyone is looking at you with a magnifying glass because you seem to be like this big, perfect persona, like public figure, but they're just looking for the flaws, to see what can they found and how can they bring you down, and is she really that perfect? And suddenly everyone starts questioning you. I think that she handled it to the best of her ability. We can sit here and criticize her for days and tell like, oh, she shouldn't have grabbed her phone, she shouldn't have went live. There's like 1,000 theories, okay? But at the end of the day, you don't know how to behave until you find yourself in that position. So
you have become a public persona.
Yeah.
So that's a price to pay for being very famous. Okay, staying in the US for a month was something new to us. Sinusundan namin ang kwento mo, hindi na pag-usapan yan before the contest. Was this an afterthought? Was this planned? What is the story?
So it is also my favor to the organization if I can stay a little bit longer, kasi this is my first time to be outside of the country. And I really want to make memories. I really want to meet people. And also, I'm planning to look for my dad.
Yes.
Okay, because that's my next question.
Good
You're
stuff,
perhaps a few
girl.
hours away
Good
from
stuff.
your dad. If he's in Chicago or wherever he is, he's probably just a few hours away from you. Given the chance, you would meet him.
Yes, I wanted to. I'm actually doing some steps. And I had numbers na din of my possible, dad. Pero every time I try to bring it, hindi sinasagot. So, let's see in the coming days. I'm positive, Tito Boy. Deep
Sana
down,
magkita kayo.
I know, I'm gonna meet him.
Sana magkita kayo. Sana makapag-usap kayo. Sana you can be together again as daughter and father, because
Sana
I
all.
was reading
That's
a
what he's
story.
trying to say.
Hindi ko malimutan when you were like, what, 4, 3, 5 years old, he would play the piano, play Love Is All That Matters,
Yeah.
pag matutulog ka. You remember that. Take me to that time. Your memories about your father.
Yung dad ko kasi, he's a sweet guy. I can say that I'm a daddy's girl.
Oh.
Talaga. And
Talaga.
naalala ko talaga, Tito Boy, I was around 5 or 6 that time. Pinaupo niya ako sa lap niya because aalis na siya pa US. And then he said na be a good daughter to your mom. I'm gonna be back. Yun yung memories of him. Kaya, even though yun na nga yung nangyari na iwanan na kami, he abandoned us for 19 years, I still love him and I still long for him. He built me to be a queen and to have my own empire. Kaya forever thankful ako doon.
And that's what your name means. Princess, queen. That's what Rabiya
Rabiya.
means. No, but I understand your story. Naiintindihan ko. Sabi mo nga, we cannot do anything about the past. It's gone. Pero yung paglakad mo, you couldn't afford a tricycle, nangungutang para magkaroon ng tuition fee, nagtatrabaho para makapag-aral, para mabuhay. Lahat ng yan nangyari. I was reading your materials and I said, what a girl. You have a way of looking at things, you have a perspective that instead of looking at something that is so negative, you have the power to turn it around and say, naging ganito ako. Kasi itong kwento namin ng tatay ko. So I'm really looking forward and I'm praying, marami siguro ang kasama namin na nagdadasal na sana magkita kayo. Because even the song, Love Is All That Matters, which is really real. Love is all that matters.
Okay, let me comment on this part of the interview. I honestly admire her character and her philosophy of life. I don't know if I was in her shoes, if I would be able to do the same thing that she's doing right now. I mean, I'm sure that everyone wants to meet their father eventually if they didn't have the chance, but it really touches me the way that she speaks about him, although he left 19 years ago, and she still calls herself a daddy's daughter. You can see that the way that she talks about him, that there's still some appreciation. Of course, I'm guessing that there are a lot of questions that she's gonna want to ask him and that she's gonna want to find out the reasons why he never came back, and just a lot of things. But overall, I'm really, really glad that she's going through this research period, let's call it that way, where she has time to connect with herself, with things that she wanted to get done during her lifetime, such as finding your dad. Is such an important thing. And I'm glad to see that she's doing it now, at such a defining moment in her life and her career, because once she goes back to the Philippines, I'm telling you, her life is about to change forever. It doesn't matter what happens afterwards, whatever she decides to do with her life, I believe that she's destined for greater things.
Di ba? Oh, Rabiya, your Lola is a single mother.
Yes.
Your mother is a single mother.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a lingering fear in your mind na pagdating ng araw, pagdating ng oras ko, I don't want to be a single mother?
Tito Boy, actually hindi siya fear. It's more of, for example, if our relationship don't work out, then I need to establish myself so I can be independent as a woman.
I like that mentality.
Parang, of course, I want to have a complete family.
Do not
More
depend
than
on any man,
having a
girl.
partner. I want a family that is happy. And kung hindi ko yun makita sa asawa ko, then I can be a single mother myself. I can establish my own home.
I understand that. Rabiya, I'd like to ask a question, which is an elephant in the room. I don't want people to say BoyAbunda and Rabiya fought, and we were shortchanged, because everybody's talking about this. And I'll put it straight. Are you and your boyfriend, Neil Salvacion, still together?
The elephant in the room, huh?
Tito Boy, it's a complicated situation.
Okay.
And we need to talk about things when I go back to the Philippines.
I respect
but
that.
we're friends. I still try to contact him, but we need to have this space together as of the moment. But
Okay.
I'm not closing any doors. We've been in this kind of situation before. We've been together for 7 years, and who knows po? Who knows?
At iklaro lamang natin that Andre Brolet has nothing to do with this. Kasi
Yeah.
gusto ko lang ipaliwanag yun. Can you explain that?
Tito Boy, nahihiya ako kay Andre. It's because yung photos na kumalat, that was the third time that I was able to talk to him. The first one was before my send-off to Miss Universe.
Mhm.
The second was during the competition. And that was the third time. Nasinundo lang nila ako sa airport.
Okay, so I'm gonna say two things about this, and I don't want to extend myself too much about her relationship because for me this is a private matter that honestly she should resolve like privately. And I know that she is talking about it now publicly because of the fact that, you know, BoyAbunda is asking her the question and everyone wants to know, but realistically she's not obligated to give out these details about her life and who she's dating and if she's together with her boyfriend or not, or ex-boyfriend, whatever you want to call it. But what I want to say about it is that I'm glad that she's in such a space that she recognizes, like she acknowledges the fact that there are some issues. She's not closing the door. She is willing to talk, but as of right now, they are friends. So it's kind of like complicated, but we'll see what happens. The second thing that I wanted to say is that, child, I'm so glad to hear that Andre is not cheating on me. Shout out. No, but honestly, I did hear about the rumors and I thought that were a little ridiculous. I don't know why, but I cannot think of Rabiya being in like the most important time of her life during Miss Universe and be like dating some guy. It just doesn't make sense. This for me is pure chismes that people just come up with because they have no occupation and they have nothing to do and talk about, so they just like create stories. So Rabiya, baby, take your time. Just fix whatever happens with the relationship, you know. Just have your best interest at heart, and whatever happens with the relationship, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and if not, there will be another one. So, moving on.
Do you also want to be very wealthy?
Yes, Tito Boy.
Yes! Get the coin, girl. Secure the bag, sis.
Beauty pageants. I need to save for my security in the future.
Of course, and your family and
Tito Boy,
everyone.
if galing ka sa walang-wala, you will understand the value of what you have right now.
You know, and we will be watching. I'll be watching you in your journey to wealth.
I like Tito. He's witty.
You are tough. You're very, very strong. No one will deny that you put in a lot of hard work in your Miss Universe journey. Pero Rabiya, expectations were high.
So
You
high.
got into the top 21, and when asked why you didn't win the crown, you know, I like this. You said in your IG post, and I quote, "It didn't happen, but I'm still blessed.
Of course.
It was heartbreaking at first, but I realized every girl in the competition also made sacrifices, and it's all about destiny. That night wasn't meant for me." End of quote. Explain this further.
Oh, please do.
Kasi Tito Boy, na-realize ko, parang at first when I wasn't called to be on the top 10, nasa backstage ako, nanlalamig ako, Tito Boy. And then sabi ko, yun na yun. Yun na ba yun? Like, that was it? Months of sacrifices. Hanggang doon na lang ako. Then I was crying. I remember kasi, kasama ko din yung top 10, nagpapalit for the gown. And na-realize ko lahat nag-e-effort eh. Lahat binigay talaga yung puso nila. And I cannot discredit them for doing that. It wasn't meant for me.
True.
Sa position naman ng mga judges, hindi ako yung hinahanap nila during that night. And I truly understand. Kaya I was thankful, Tito Boy, na at least nakapasok pa rin ako sa top 21. Kasi ang dami talagang magagaling na sa perception ko, dapat kasama din to eh. Pero they didn't make it. So it's all about destiny then, Tito Boy.
How nervous were you?
I was nervous, Tito Boy, but actually ito yung gustong tanungin ng maraming tao. Because are you nervous during the swimsuit competition paglabas mo? To be honest, Tito Boy, wala talaga ako naiisip during that time. I didn't even know na I didn't smile. Wala talaga akong idea. Kasi after the whole competition, I just went to my room because I was, I was crying. Kailangan ko pa talaga some time to accept, to recover from the competition. And then, Mama J, Sir Jonas Gafod messaged me and he said, bakit hindi ka kasi nag-smile? And then sabi ko, hindi pala ako nag-smile. I wasn't even aware of that.
Okay.
I wasn't aware of that.
Okay.
Tapos nung nakita ko ng video, oo nga pala. Like, but it happened na, Tito Boy. Kasi naman, isipin ko siya palagi. It's gonna torture me.
Yeah.
What if I smile? What if
You
I
have to let it go.
Diba?
It's in the past.
Happened na. And wala na talaga akong magagawa.
You know, I really admire the way that she kind of like makes sense out of this experience, because at this point, there's nothing you can do about it. It's done. It's in the past. You can cry about it for days, but that's not going to change the outcome of what just happened. And I also really respect the fact that she was mature enough to acknowledge the fact that sometimes it's destiny. If it wasn't meant to be for you, just because you're sad, you cannot discredit all of the other girls, because when they go to Miss Universe, everyone is in the same boat. Everyone has been training and preparing and investing a lot of resources into this competition for months, sometimes even years of preparation. So just because you didn't get it at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that you can go and bash everyone. Oh, I deserve it more than this one and the other one and That's not how it is. Because at the end of the day, everyone's trying their best to just really give the best performance. And in my personal opinion, that wouldn't make her look good if she was to bash other contestants just because she lost. That would be like a sore loser. I'm glad that she didn't come off as one. So
before the pageant started, ano yung expectations mo?
Tito Boy, my target was to reach the top 5. Kasi we prepared for a different format. The usual format, to have an opening speech, to nail the swimsuit competition, to reach the top 5 and ace the Q&A. So yun talaga yung target ko. Sabi ko, Lord, give me the chance to be on the top 5. At ibibigay ko talaga yung puso ko dito. Pero hindi niya binigay. But
I think that might have been a key element. The fact that the format was different and she was not ready for it.
Dito natin pag-usapan ng pageant. Umpisa natin dun sa live IG mo after the national costume portion. You were in tears, you cried, nagla-live ka. I thought, ito yung opinion ko lang, Rabiya, I thought you were listening too much to the netizens, to the noise out there. You were listening too much to social media.
Tito Boy, kasi kahit sabihin na nila, wag kang mag-social media, I need to be active during that time. And kahit sina-shutdown ko yung IG ko, there would be some familiar people who would message me, who would chat me na, bakit ganyan yung natcos mo? Things like that. So, it really got into me. And during that live, to be honest, Tito Boy, my intention is to say thank you to all the supporters. Okay. But I was like, on the spot. And parang hindi ko na din napigilan yung emotion ko.
You became emotional.
Yes. Because, iba kasi yung idea. To be honest, Tito Boy, during the national competition, everybody was giving compliments. Yung mga foreigners, yung organization, yung people behind, they were saying, your costume is beautiful, it's different from the past few years, we love it, it's sexy, it's modern. Pero, pagdating sa social media, pagdating sa mga Filipinos, iba naman yung naging perception nila.
I remember, I went on a rant after that IG live.
Marami ding nangyaring hindi nila nakita sa camera.
That's right.
I was rushing, I was doing this, I was doing that. And feeling ko lahat ng efforts ko na invalidate because sinabi lang nila, hindi maganda yung costume mo. We're disappointed. So yun yung na-feel ko. Parang I feel na it's unfair.
Alright.
Unfair?
Unfair but territorial. That's a price. Sabi ko, that's the price you pay, I pay because we are all public. Pero did you know that? Did you try putting on the headgear?
I did, Tito Boy. And to be honest, I'm so thankful to Sir Manny for making that headpiece.
Okay.
Pero Tito Boy, that was my first time to fit it.
All right.
And yung problem kasi yung shoes ko, it's really high. I think nasa 7.5 inches.
Pero ang
siya.
ganda ng sapatos mo doon, ha?
Yes. Sobrang ganda.
Ganda.
And yung wings ko, mabigat din siya. Actually, yung costume ko actually, Tito Boy, mahaba siya dapat. And it's so heavy. So I made the last minute decision to cut it. I didn't even think about ano yung sasabihin ng designer or ng mga gumawa nun. I did something na I feel comfortable with. Na malalakad ko talaga siya. And siguro nagpatong-patong na din eh. That's why I got emotional with my acting.
Okay.
I think that at the end of the day, it was one of those decisions that she had to make for herself. Whether she edit the costume and she takes out the headpiece, or she takes the risk to go on stage, maybe like stumble or fall, or the headpiece might drop from her head, she might hurt herself. You never know, like there are so many possibilities and things that can happen on the spot. And at the end of the day, if something goes wrong, people are not gonna be happy about it. I honestly feel like everyone made such a big deal about the headpiece, and I get it that for a lot of Filipinos that was like extremely important because it was a concept. It was all about like the flag, and there was a reference right there. But at the same time, most people watching from the outside, like international pageant lovers, didn't get that much the reference. I was watching it myself and I thought that everything was okay. I told myself, this is beautiful. I don't get why people are so upset. So I think that if people didn't overreact so much, this wouldn't have been so blown out of proportion. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what people say. I think that after this moment, it's when everything really went downhill mentally for Rabiya, because she was no longer focused. She felt like the people were disappointed. She felt like everyone was going against her. At this particular moment when she's supposed to be like the most focused, she's supposed to be at her best, everyone was just bringing her down.
In my commentary, I said that was one of your best performances. I loved your national costume performance, channeling Victoria's Secret. I love your hand gesture. I thought it was relaxed and you were having fun on stage. Unfortunately, national costume does not impact into the sports. Tama ba ako?
Yes. It's hard naman, Tito Boy.
Okay, all right. Now, I want to go back to what you said kanina, that the format changed. Kailan mo nalaman, Rabiya, that the format had changed, that you wouldn't be given a chance to introduce yourself, unlike the other pageant, unlike the other Miss Universe pageant?
Right.
Yes.
Kasi alam mo, Rabiya, kung bakit? Yun yung dasal namin, na sana'y marinig ka, sana nagsasalita, sana hindi palitan ng ang format. When did you know that it changed?
It was like 5 days before the competition.
Okay.
And I do understand naman, Tito Boy, kung bakit. Kasi siguro they wanted to have a different flavor to the competition.
Okay.
And, pero iba kasi yung na-prepare ko. I was prepared for that speech, for that format.
And then you also mentioned that kung sino man ang nanalo, kung sino man ang nakakita, kung sino ang dapat manalo, ay nanggaling yun sa 8 women judges. Of course, a lot of people also criticize the fact that top 5, there was only one Asian, I mean, India. And then lahat mga Latino.
Diversity was not there.
That's for another discussion. But
That's
I totally get this whole discourse about the choice of judges. Kasi during a commentary, sabi nga ng aking mga bisita ay, paano naman yung point of view ng LGBT community? Paano naman ang point of view ng lalaki? I mean, nasaan yung ganda? Pero sabi ko nga, Rabiya, that's for another discussion. How do you handle praise and criticism?
Tito Boy, kasi I'm a very competitive person. Pero during the competition kasi, it's all getting into my head na.
Okay.
Like, parang iniisip ko, I was so afraid to fail.
I get it.
Like, I need to do this. I need to please the Filipinos. I need to sacrifice a lot of things. Pero every time, again, people pleaser ako. Every time may invalidate yun, parang I feel bad. Parang I even ask myself, is this even worthy of everything? I even had life coaching sessions just to get me through that kind of phase. Kasi sobrang hirap talaga, Tito Boy. And sobrang dali lang sabihin na, huwag ka na magbasa ng comment, don't do this, don't do that. Pero pag nasa position ka na, there were moments I would wake up, I would just cry for no reason. And I would look at the mirror, see myself, and I would hate my body.
What?
I would hate how I look.
Girl, your body's perfect. What do you mean?
The things that I would wear. Kasi ayaw yun ng tao. Kasi it's not enough. I'm always not enough for them.
Now, looking back now in retrospect, I understand. You were listening, you were processing. You know, there were so many opinions. And I also have it from sources. Ito, you can deny this or you can confirm this, that to a certain point, you guys were also overworked. You were promoting Miss Universe, sometimes in 7 events in a day. Miss South Africa, I think, talked about it in another interview. Totoo ba? Na minsan may mga araw na sobrang ang dami-dami mong pinupuntahan?
Tito Boy, hindi ko yan i-deny. I had like 8 pa yata na promotional shoots. And I remember, I even ate lunch for 5 minutes. I was so hungry. I was given 5 minutes to finish everything. And wala nang beauty queen, lahat na mapasok ko sa bibig ko, pinapasok ko na lang. And I was so tired. It was draining. I remember, parang meron pa yata ko itong makeup shoot. And after that, I need to go for a casual one. Pero yung buhok ko puno ng gel. I even told my chaperone if I can go to the bathroom to fix myself.
Fix yourself. Yeah.
And then, hindi na pwede. Kasi strict sila sa time. So, it's like, I was being pulled around. I was running all over the place. And to be honest, nakakapagod talaga siya. But it was part of my responsibility. I was chosen.
Yeah, but at the same time, this is something that I was discussing with Tita Lavinia on the conversation that we had here on my channel. If you haven't checked out that video, you can go and watch it later. And it's the fact that to a certain extent, they put too much pressure on the candidates. You know, at this point, I think that there are a few things that we can learn from Rabiya's experience. First and foremost is the fact that they prepared for a specific format. Instead of giving like a global preparation to the candidate, they prepared for a specific format that they have no control over the fact that perhaps the organization is going to choose to change it and go with something different. What happens in that scenario? Something that I really, really like that Tita brought up is the fact that they need some sort of like mental health coaching, someone to help the contestant navigate this waters, like unknown, like the amount of visibility and pressure and overall attention that they are getting during the competition. These people have never had anything like that in the past, so very often they don't know how to deal with it. It's important that they have enough support in order to be able to get through it. And last but not least, I think that what she's talking about right now, I think that overworking the contestant is not a very good thing. I mean, I get it that Miss Universe is a business first and foremost, but overworking the candidate is not gonna pay you back because the candidate will just not perform as well as if she was getting enough rest and respecting her diet, doing her exercise and all. And of course, she's gonna have commitments and she's gonna have to talk to sponsors and go to parties and events and stuff like that and photo shoots. But you have to make sure that first and foremost, the candidate is healthy in a good mental space and that they can bring their 100% every single time, mentally and physically. So once again, just to go back to my main point, I feel like if anything, the organization has to look back on this experience, they have to reflect on it and learn. She is telling you why she wasn't able to give her best. The answer is right there.
Alam mo, Rabiya, to be very honest, and I said this in one of my commentaries, Rabiya was a very, very strong candidate, but she wasn't able to let go, and you confirmed it, Kayan, with what you said. She wasn't able to let go, and she was not able to cross over into that winning space. Because ang dami-dami mong iniisip. Hinahanapan ka tuloy ng, have fun, girl, let go. But I'll be very honest, because ako personally, I was expecting you to at least get into the top 10. Yung gano'n. Sabi ko, hindi pwede. Her worst performance, sabihin na natin, can still get her into the top 10. Ganun kami, ako personally ka-disappointed.
Yes, Tito Boy.
Oo.
I know. And Tito Boy, it's difficult to be in that kind of situation. the expectations were really, really high.
Ang taas.
Yes. But I know in my heart, Tito Boy, binigay ko yung lahat.
Yes.
During months of preparing.
Yun naman, walang duda yun, Rabiya. Walang duda yan. We saw that. You gave your best.
Yeah.
Oo. Hindi nga lang talagang moment.
He said.
Hindi talaga. It's not.
It was not just enough for the 8 judges. Sabihin na lang natin. Alam mo si Miss Gloria Diaz, who's a friend of mine, parati ko sinasabi, ano ba ang tip mo sa mga winners? Sabi niya, it's about the judges. It's about, they decide, on who's supposed to be the winner. Pero Rabiya, the first time you saw the other girls, sino ang nakita mong malakas na mga kalaban?
Nakita ko talaga si Miss Mexico. I messaged Mama Ray. Ganun kami. Sabi, magaganda dyan. I said, si Mexico. Because grabe yung presence.
Everyone was talking about Miss Mexico ever since the beginning. So that was no, surprise. I was mostly shocked after the Q&A. That part. But she had, that aura of a winner.
Okay. All right.
And another thing that I would like to add to what she just said, what she has discussed in here, is the fact that, yes, a lot of people, were expecting her to make it into the top 10, into the top 5, and so much expectations. But at the same time, she was being dragged down by a lot of people. So how do you expect the contestant to perform well when you're not uplifting them? People were destroying her publicly in the media, gossips going around, criticizing the outfits, and just so much unnecessary noise going on that of course she's gonna feel distracted. Of course she's gonna be affected. Once again, this is a learning experience. I hope that we can all learn from it and that we avoid those same mistakes going forward. So, the candidates can really give their best shot in the competition.
Talk about the gowns. You had 4 gowns from Fern, and you decided to wear the yellow with that cape. Were you happy with it?
I was, Tito Boy. I was. Actually, that was supposed to be my final gown.
Okay.
Pero during the trainings, we decided to put it in the preliminary. It has a cape. And Tito Boy, I'm very thankful and grateful to Mama Fern Amato for help. I didn't even spend anything.
But when you were walking in the gown already, how were you feeling?
To be honest, Tito Boy, I feel really beautiful during the yellow gown competition. Totoo talaga. Even my hair. Kahit marami nagsasabi, bakit yan yung buhok?
She looks stunning. That was one of my favorite looks personally.
Ang ganda-ganda ka pa na.
Okay.
After nun, parang may message ako ni Mama J. Hindi yan na pinapagawa ko sa'yo. Pero kasi, we have a hairstylist. So, pabilisan na talaga, Tito Boy. Hindi mo na talaga mausin. I can't even have a selfie and send it to Mama J. Ganun siya ka. Pero during that time, I felt like I was beautiful.
And
you were, girl. You were.
A lot of people are saying,
exquisite.
But did you have plans of, you and Jonas actually agreed na iibahin niyo ang buhok pagdating sa gown? Itataas mo sana buhok mo?
For the finals, yes. Ibabond ko sana siya.
Okay.
And then, ito pa yung funny, Tito Boy, kasi parang may kinausap na ako ni hairstylist. Sana clear na, di ba? Sabi ko, okay, if we're gonna do the long gown, this is gonna be my hair. Tapos he said, yes. And then hindi nga ako, di ba, nakapasok. Sabi ko, do you want me to help you? Sabi ko, I'm not gonna get my hair.
At saka, I can imagine the chaos backstage.
Takbo
diba?
talaga.
Takbuhan, you run to your gowns, to your swimwear, etc. It's chaotic. Siguro ang gulo. Diba? I was reading your materials and hindi ko to pwedeng palampasin. I quote, "Have a humble heart is the most important piece of advice that you got from your mother." In your Miss Universe journey, were there moments, Rabiya, na humility just didn't work?
It always works, Tito Boy.
It does. It
always. And kahit siguro up until now, pag may mga conflicts or issues, hindi ako nahihiya na ako mismo yung magsasorry. Even sabihin natin, I didn't do anything or it was beyond my control. I always need to say sorry. Kasi we work in an industry in which everybody is putting efforts. They want to also make names for themselves.
True.
They want also to help you.
The competition is savage.
It doesn't work. Doesn't turn out as expected. And there's a lot of disappointment. So ako talaga, Tito Boy, parang feeling ko nga, middle name ko siguro yung sorry. Rabiya, sorry, Mateo.
Rabiya, sorry,
Okay.
Mateo.
Uh-oh. Now, I get it. You apologize even if you're not wrong. And I think you want peace.
Yes.
Diba? Sometimes you apologize not because you're wrong, but because you want peace. Ganun lang. A people pleaser. You want to please everybody. You want to smile. You want people to like you, etc. Rabiya, what's next? Is a medical career in the horizon? Show business, modeling, politics. What is next for Rabiya?
She's a star.
To boy, I wanted to try show business. I might go into acting.
Oh, that's
I've
great.
been talking to my team, to management, and I think in the coming days, I'm gonna sign up for a network.
That makes absolute sense. And I remember during one of my reactions to following Rabiya, she was working on her acting skills with a coach. And at that point, I didn't understand it very much. And a lot of people told me, oh, it's because she's working on like her facial expressions and all of that. But I thought it was a little bit too much. Because if you want to work on your facial expressions, then you work on that. You don't have to work on a full like acting thing, right? But it makes sense that she was preparing at that point because she kind of envisioned the fact that she wanted to go into show business. It's a very reasonable transition. I think that it's the right choice, especially if she wants to build a name for herself, if she wants to build a wealth. It's the right move. There's a lot of opportunities. And now because of who she is, like Tito was saying before, everyone knows who Rabiya is. You don't even have to say her last name. There's only one Rabiya.
Is it possible for you to join another contest, like a Miss World, for example?
Please.
Tito boy, I've been reading a lot of comments. I remember
May mga ganun
after I lost, nag-trending agad na Rabiya for the world. I was making jokes na hindi pa nga okay yung paltos ko sa paa.
Please do. Oh my god, I would love that so much.
But what are your thoughts?
Let's give it like 2 years, siguro, Tito Boy. Let's see. I'm not closing any doors. Like,
You're not.
2
you're not the
years,
type
that's
who
like a
closes
long
doors.
time
You're
ago.
not
And
the
they
type,
did
yeah,
earlier.
who closes doors. You're very open to the possibilities of life.
Yeah.
I'll give you your chance now. I mean, to address the Filipino people, not just here in the country, but all our kababayans, your fans around the world who are eavesdropping on this conversation. What do you want to tell all of them?
sa lahat ng mga Pilipinong sumuporta at nagmahal sa akin, maraming salamat po. I feel to bring home the 5th crown, but still, you guys have loved me and supported me. And ramdam na ramdam ko siya sa meet and greet na events dito na punong-puno palagi. And I also want to thank my organization, Sir Jonas Gapud, my designer, Mama Fern, everybody, Miss Shamsi Soup, lahat ng mga beauty queens, Miss Pia Wurzbach, who were there trying to hold me tight, hold me, and ayoko umiyak dito, you're making me cry. It's been a wonderful journey. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng tulong niyo at mahal na mahal ko kayo. I'm gonna be back home and I'm gonna have another homecoming.
Diba? This is my last question, Rabiya. Complete the statement. I am Rabiya Mateo and...
I am Rabiya Mateo and I am nothing less than phenomenal.
Maraming salamat
Thank you, Tito.
for being just a phenomenal young woman. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I feel like I already said most of my comments during the reaction video, but to be quite honest, I just get a positive vibe from this interview. I like how respectful BoyAbunda was with Rabiya. I love how open she was with every single answer, how honest she was, how generous when it comes to answering things that were even at some point like personal matters. She was able to share with the world and kind of like clarify where a clarification was needed. As a fan, I'm going to continue supporting her. I'm going to continue sending love her way. I admire her as a person, not just as a beauty queen or as a Miss Universe. I fell in love with Rabiya as a person because of her heart, because of her values, because of what she represents. And just like Tito was saying, you know, she was able to conquer people's heart, Filipinos and people from all around the world as well. Look at me, I'm like some random Cuban guy who lives in Canada who like fell in love with her. There's not much I can say, but I'm gonna end this with a statement that I decided to get on a t-shirt because I think that it represents overall how I feel about Rabiya. And let me know if you agree with me, but look at what I got. What do you think? Do you like it? I'll be wearing this very, very soon. Alright guys, as usual, thank you for coming to my channel. I appreciate the fact that you stayed with me and watched this entire video with me. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like so that it gets recommended to more people. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one almost every single day. Go in the comments, let me know what you think about the interview, about Rabiya's answers, about my comments, anything that you want to discuss. By all means, go down in the comments and just express yourself. And last but not least, our tradition on the channel, come here and give me a hug, because that's a little tradition on this channel. And as usual, please stay safe, be kind to one another. I'm sending you all my love, all my kisses, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, my friends.